Welcome to Hawkeye Tennis, where we review the big issues around the game. My name's Clint, thanks for joining us. On this update, we'll be reviewing the quarterfinals of the US Open. Plus, we'll be looking at the live rankings with 3 players still in contention to be world number 1 at the end of the tournament. Let's get into it. Yes, we've got 4 men left in the tournament, and honestly, other than Alcaraz being there, it's an unlikely semi-final lineup. Kyrgios couldn't back up his win over Medvedev with a victory over Khachanov in his quarterfinal, and you could just see after the match with the racket smashes and in the post-match press conference how disappointed he was. A very different person to the player not too long ago that just didn't seem to care. He knew this was a big opportunity. Well done to Khachanov, he was so solid and got the win in 5 sets to make his first Grand Slam semi-final. Casper Ruud swept Matteo Berrettini aside in straight sets to be the sole survivor from Section 2. What a year it's been for Ruud after never having made it past the 3rd round of a Grand Slam before this year. And in 2022, he's made the Roland Garros final and he's in the US Open semis. Alcaraz and Sinner battled it out for 5 hours and 15 minutes, with Alcaraz finally getting the upper hand in the 5th set at almost 3 AM. This was a quality win by Alcaraz in what was a danger match for him, considering that Sinner had won both of their prior meetings this season. And what about Tiafoe? Takes down Nadal and then backs it up by beating the number 9 seed Rublev in straight sets to be the first American into the US Open semi-finals since Andy Roddick in 2006. He's on a roll and he's got the home crowd right behind him. So here are our semi-final matchups. Khachanov and Ruud have only played once previously. That was on clay in Rome 2 years ago, with Ruud getting the win. That'll have little bearing on this match though, with both players playing their first US Open semi-final. The other semi will feature Tiafoe and Alcaraz, both with impressive quarterfinal displays. Alcaraz's last 2 matches have both gone to 5 sets, so we'll see if that's taken too much petrol out of his tank. These two have only met once before also, last year on clay, in Spain, at the Barcelona event, and it was Tiafoe that won that match. Let's check in on the race to world number 1 following the quarterfinals. Both Alcaraz and Ruud are now 1 win away from overtaking Nadal in the rankings and ruling him out of being able to return to number 1 when the new rankings are released the day after the US Open finishes. Here are the scenarios that we still have in play. If Alcaraz and Ruud both lose their semi-finals, Nadal will be guaranteed number 1. If Alcaraz wins his semi-final and Ruud doesn't, Alcaraz will be guaranteed number 1. If Ruud wins his semi-final and Alcaraz doesn't, Ruud will be guaranteed number 1. If both win their semi-finals, the final of the US Open will be not only for the title, it will also be for the number 1 ranking, which would be extraordinary. And that's us updated after the quarterfinals. Make sure you subscribe while you're here so you can catch our updates after each round of the US Open. See you next time.